What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We are the Blade Dragons. I'm Elliot.
And I'm Alex.
And today we are doing another anime review. And this episode was actually very good. We were very happy with how this episode turned out. There was a lot more climax in the battle and more detail into the new Beyblades and the strategy between each of the sponsors, that they actually went in depth on how the psychology actually works in the professional Beyblade scene. So that was something very cool that we didn't really expect to see. So I am very excited to break down this podcast. We have so many points to go over. So we'll just jump right into it. Take it away, Alex.
All right, so I think we've broken a record. We've got like in the teens of points. However, a lot of those are just mini points off of the actual battle that happened. Now, frankly, I think this has to be the first time that we've seen a battle episode that we don't have like too much negative to say about, especially in terms of the actual battles that happened. They were pretty good overall, I think.
Yes, we got some very good screenshots and points to go over, so
we're gonna jump right into it. So our first, obviously, we have to talk about our boy Common, who is he's looking so happy, big happy boy, and he is just so excited for Beyblade, and you gotta love it. Always gotta love Common. Oh man,
it was funny. He was literally skipping around the sushi bar because he was so excited for this next matchup.
He was. It was. You'd love to see it. And of course, we have got to talk about Taisho and his ever-changing emotional headpiece of sushi. So we can see here that while I believe I'm not sure, I think they're listening to Maiden or Common talk, and I think Maiden was saying something concerning or something important, and you can see here that our little sushi friend is kind of concerned here, just like our little man Taisho, which is he's such a cutie. And then here it's making more of an O face, a little bit concerned at what's happening, and just furrowing his brows there a bit. And then next he's got the little happy face, and we can see he's doing good, just like Taisho.
And then we got to see the subtitles that said that he will bite a cat. No, you're fine.
Oh, I didn't even. Dang it! I should have read that.
No, it's all good.
Subtitle
said something about biting a cat.
That is so funny. Yeah, he's gonna bite a cat. All right, and then we get a nice smiley sushi. Gotta love it.
And then with this screenshot, it also mentions that you have to think about the marketing for your team if you're trying to make it to the top, which was a very big factor in this episode, that the sponsors were very big on strategy to boost their brand and advertising rates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very interesting to see in this episode how much of the marketing of the sponsors and the teams is, such a big point for Beyblade X's competitive scene and the professional league and the X Tower. And it was pretty cool, honestly. It's some of the realistic aspects of like the battles and whatnot, we've been disappointed with, but when it gets into like the detail of how things work and how things string together, that's actually when we get kind of excited about it. It was also funny to see them get excited over marketing. It's like they were like, so we have to market properly, and Bird's like, yay, marketing! Doesn't even feel like a Beyblade anime. And then we get
business.
We get Content Sushi up here, looking pretty cute. And I missed one.
Yeah.
There was another one that was more like a frowny face. I guess that one didn't make it in for whatever reason. So you guys will have to find that one out on your own. But it's always nice to see the little Taisho headpiece updates and all that good stuff. So next up, we've got the return of Team Phalanx. Now this is anime exclusive. This whole episode was anime exclusive, and I gotta say, maybe it's because we're reading the manga, but all the anime exclusive episodes are somewhat better than the manga ones, at least so far.
Yeah, I do enjoy the anime versions of the episodes that they put a lot of fun details in there.
Absolutely. We have our return. And one thing that's interesting, we get to see the sponsor for Team Phalanx, which is a ramen shop, which seems to be somewhat in competition with Taisho's sushi shop, which would make sense. And we get to see the boss man here, who kind of your average like mob boss ish yakuza guy, sort of. I guess we got a nice little picture of Team Phalanx, and as per usual, not looking pretty excited. Just kind of,
Mm-mm.
yeah, it's the team. So it's pretty cool to see the boss. We can see more of him here. A little bit discolored, but that's okay. We can see he's got
Whoops.
that menacing face. Kind of
I
looks like
think
Frankenstein a little bit from the gray color.
uh yeah, I don't know what that screenshot was. I thought it was subtitles, but I guess we can just move on.
Yeah, I put it. Yeah, we get like a nice frontal of the mob boss, and then here, this was an interesting. This was a part that was very integral to the overall aspect of Team Phalanx and their battle, which was that we can see here that the boss is talking about the inferior sushi shop and whatnot, and Bird overhears before the battle that the boss telling them that it doesn't matter if they win or lose, and that's something that we're going to touch on a little bit later with what happens in the battle, during, and after the battle. But before we do that, first and foremost, there's we're gonna crap on the anime a little bit because we got a wider shot of the stadium. Now, it was very interesting to see this because we get a greater scope of how everything is. So it looks like everything's a big octagon, and we've got the entrance for the players over here, and they look okay. It's a little bit weird, but I guess that's just Beyblade X futuristic geometry going on, and we can still see that they kept the like kind of AI mirrored looking stands here, which is okay, I suppose. But if I move our cameras up, and we can now see the bottom portion, if we take a look right here, I want you guys to notice that the platform here kind of goes down. First, you can barely see the audience. Who knows if they're even there? This honestly looks pretty empty. Just this little bit in the light. But we can see whatever weird clip through stuff is going here, because this ramp going down here kind of looks like this ramp, right? And then
hmm
there's this other one here that like curves the other way, and then this one with the little rainbow on it like comes down and clips through it, but then it doesn't even hit the bottom of it. It just kind of ends, as you can see here. So, and it's the same on the other side. It looks like this image is just mirrored, except for the hologram part. That looks like it's just an overlay. And then maybe the crowd, because this part over here looks different. But if you look at like the stadium design between these two, it's like you've got the same like clipping here that's over here, and like the same indent shape. It just kind of feels like it was just sloppily thrown together or AI generated, which is a little sad, to be honest.
I hope that they move stadiums soon for some reason. I don't. We've never figured out where the stadium is located in the X Tower. I would assume once we reach past floor 50, we would get a brand new stadium. Chances are we won't. But I guess we'll have to see. If they only plan this stadium to be used half a dozen times, I would see why they didn't put as much detail into it as some of the more serious matches, hopefully. But we'll have to see. There's some improvements and some other points that we noticed, but overall, it gets the job done. We're not, well, not too upset, but just got to point out a few things that we found.
Yep, just a little minor gripes that we had with it. So now we've got the big portion. We've got the actual battle. I'm just going to go on here for a minute, and it was very interesting. So there's a few points that we want to get over right away. A lot of it's kind of like exposition into the actual like battle part, um, which was fine. It made the episode kind of go by fast, but at the same time, there was a lot of like parts of it in between where it was kind of cool. I think the pacing for this one was really good, and I hope they keep that going forward because they made it they made it palatable for once, which is nice. So I'm glad to see that. And they did a knockout battle, which if you've seen my video, I'm going to shamelessly plug real quick. There's a I did essentially you have a team and you've got for this instance you've got three Beyblades on each team. So the first two Beyblades will battle. Whoever loses gets knocked out, and then the next Beyblade on the other team will face the winning Beyblade. And then if that winning Beyblade wins again, it'll face the next one. But if that one loses, it gets knocked out. Um, so that's very similar. If you guys, any of you have seen Metal Masters, you'll remember that this happened in the battle with Team Garcia during the World Championships, which was pretty cool. So it's nice to see knockout battles come back. I don't know if they were in Burst or G Revolution, but it's always nice to see them change the rules up.
Mm-hmm. And the way they did this here was very interesting. That Common was the first blader and the only blader. We'll get into how that worked.
We're gonna segue right into that, but first, of course, we have to notice that Miss Your Common is using the bright, spanking new drawn dagger, which we saw Hell's Chain in the last episode, and now we get to see Drawn Dagger. And I gotta say, Drawn Dagger looks pretty good in the anime. They did a good job bringing it over.
It does. It looks really clean. The reflections are very well done. And the funny part was that no one prior to seeing this frame here knew which Beyblade he was going to use. We had a picture, or we thought that we would see Drawn Dagger, but we didn't know how or when. And for the way they did this was they brought up the marketing again, and that Maiden in one of those screenshots said the more you surprise the audience, the more your marketing effects and advertisements grow. So the way Team Phalanx was planning, they were planning for drawn sword, and then Kama's just standing up there, so eager to battle like he always is, and he's like, I didn't bring drawn sword today. I have drawn dagger, and they all like literally have a heart attack. They're like, no, if it's not drawn sword, we don't have a chance.
Yeah, you can see Takumi here is just absolutely flabbergasted that there is no drawn dagger to be seen, or no drawn sword to be seen anywhere. It's drawn dagger. So it's really it was a pretty big reveal for them. Multi and Maiden and Common were the only three people that knew. Taisho, Bird, they didn't know either, much less Team Phalanx or anybody else, which was pretty cool. So it's definitely nice to see. Every blader has, at least on Team Persona, has more than one Beyblade that they're going to use, which is really cool. But that also leaves us to speculate about the products. The only duplicate or like variant Beyblades we've seen are for our main cast. Are we going to see versions of Laying Claw, Viper Tail, Rhino Horn? What we already for the products, we know that there's going to be Phoenix Wing and Phoenix Feathers. So, but aside from that, are we going to see any more variants? Are we going to see Wizard variants, Shark variants? Maybe that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they play out this cast, because the way they're using it is even a member of Team Phalanx has a shark layer that I think we saw 2 episodes ago in the ending credits, or maybe it was just last episode. That we've seen that stock setup for a Beyblade in a few different shots throughout this anime, and for it to be on Team Phalanx, that I don't know. We'll have to see, because the way we'll get into how this tournament ended here and the repercussions and whatever happened. But we don't know what's going to happen with Team Phalanx after this battle.
It's gonna be interesting to see because, well, I guess we'll just have to find out. They did give us the what's gonna happen in the next episode, which we're gonna get into. But it's interesting to you gotta wonder if we will see Team Phalanx, if we'll see Boulder Mont Blanc next. That would be kind of funny. But we progress, and yeah, we can see here the whole team is kind of on edge about Drawn Dagger, which is really interesting. They were not expecting any of that. And then next
Mm-mm.
up is probably one of the most important parts of the episode, which was the statement from the sponsor of Team Phalanx stating that they were going to, I believe, from what Autosubs was saying, I believe they were going to sell off the company or something like that, or they were like
Ye-
selling the name or the brand or whatever for the sponsors. So then it didn't matter if Team Phalanx won or lost, they were going to pretty much abandon them. I think that's what it was. For those of you who understood what happened or know Japanese and were able to comprehend it, um, correct us if we're wrong. But that's what we got from it, which makes a lot of sense. And it kind of left Team Phalanx, especially Takumi, just feeling on edge the entire time, regardless of, it's Common X and he's kicking their butts. So that was very interesting to see, sort of like a shady business dealing, which it seemed like. Which it was, I think it kind of adds to the personality of this episode being very like mob boss esque in a sense. Oop. Uh, I think we lost Elliot for a bit. Oh no, he powered down. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go.
I guess
Oh no,
my
my
internet
thing.
pooped out for a second there. It looked like
That was your internet.
it might
Okay.
have been mine. Yeah, it looked like you had shut down. Your eyes were closed in your still frame. All right, Elliot's
Okay,
back.
because I was like, what just happened there? Okay.
And anyway, so yes,
Wherever you were at 30 seconds ago.
yeah, just mentioning the mob boss esque sort of way
Hmm.
that they portrayed the episode gave it like some personality, which was pretty cool. So next, of course, we get to see Drawn Dagger in action immediately, and of course, it looks fantastic. The animators have been doing a fantastic job with the Beyblade battles. I think they're very visually stunning. I'm I prefer if it was a like closed spinning animation style, but it's even when it's open, they're still making it kind of work. I don't hate it per se, which is nice. So we get to see here. We get to see. Ooh, is that ball? I guess that is ball. It's not. Kind of looks like taper, but I think it's
Yeah, I think it's wizard recolored, just
yeah,
straight up force 80 ball.
yeah. So we got the Wizard Melon recolor, which was pretty funny. That's always we were one. So maybe now
Oh, I
that it's
think that is
confirmed,
taper.
no, it doesn't have the hole there. It's just
It
the way
looks
that
like it.
ball is shaped.
It's shading or something. Yeah.
Yeah, ball. I don't know. Ball is weirdly shaped, anyways. It's not like it was before, where it was a clear round thing. It's kind of like round, but it's then segmented at a place. It's kind of weird. But I am curious. Are we gonna get the Wizard Melon recolor? Because people have been wanting the Stone Mont Blanc recolor of Night Shield. So maybe we'll get the Iron Forest and Diamond Nuts recolors. And that includes Wizard Melon, that would be pretty hype. And then we also have the Blue Shark Edge, which Elliot was just talking about, and it's got the orange 360 and it's got purple low flat. So I guess we gotta wait for a Blue Shark Edge recolor to come out. We've got green, yellow, and purple. So I wonder if we get blue as well. But it's also pretty cool to see that um, you can make the random generic bays right off the bat, which is pretty nice. You know, it's like with Metal Fight, you had to have the light wheels, and then even then they didn't have the particular Facebolt stickers and some of the color variations that they showed in the anime. But with this, you know, all we need is the color variations, which you know we're definitely getting a lot of. So it's
Fast.
definitely cool to see that. And then it was very interesting here. Kamen decided before the match he was going to get into Takami's head a little bit, and Takami was kind of looking off at his sponsor, and Kamen's like, "Hey, I want you to focus on me. I want to have fun." He kind of sounds like a serial killer, but I made it sound like he was a serial killer, which, you know, oops.
Wasn't exactly how it came across, but similar enough.
It wasn't like that, I swear. But we get that. So it's pretty interesting to see Common go down that route, getting that like mind game aspect. You know, I gotta wonder, is that something we're gonna see down the road as well? Are we gonna see Common X, you know, get into the groove and like mess around with his opponents? Because normally up until this point he's been very much just, hey, I wanna have fun, I wanna battle. But he actually seemed a little threatening in this episode, which was pretty interesting how they somehow made like the best blader in the league even more menacing.
Yeah, people are still scared of him, and apparently he's still a newbie. No one actually knows. Well, that is weird. I guess we probably touched on this prior, but did no one catch that there was a second drawn sword in the league, or that like no one's discovered his persona, right?
Yeah, I guess so. No one does. I
That's
well,
that's kind of weird. It just clicked in my head that drawn swords the giveaway, but apparently no one knows.
yeah. I mean, I guess drawn sword is like a rare bay, so maybe there are multiple of it. And people are just like, well, I guess I'm so sorry. I guess people are just like, oh, it's a drawn sword user. He's got the rare one. But then, you know, they saw it being used by Chrome in the beginning. So I wonder if that was
Mm,
just kind of a way of being like, so they had Chrome just use drawn sword in battle. I wonder if that alludes to later down the line when he has to use Cobalt Drake. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. But I think
mm-hmm.
the fact that they had Chrome Ryugu using drawn sword and Common being like, oh, I just lent it to him. That's kind of like, so everyone thinks that drawn sword is Chrome's Beyblade, but not X's Beyblade. And to be fair, we maybe X hasn't even battled before. I would imagine he has, but you know, maybe just not as often. But it does seem like he's a little overshadowed by the other members of Team Pendragon to, you know, like really stand out a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we got a new Beyblade, so now he's really diversified because I don't think anyone's gonna have a drawn dagger. So
Mm-hmm.
no more health scythe, no more health or no more drawn sword being given away or lent out or made multiple of. Now they have their own specific special bays that we probably, I hope not, see other people have.
That would be that would actually kind of be cool. It's like they came up with those designs and then somebody like rips them off. Hey, that would be an interesting way to do an episode about fake Beyblades. I know that that's a big
Well,
point of contention in the community right now. There's a fake line from I think what is it, Flame Brand or MQ, and it's
yeah.
they got Beyblade X and Bay Super X, which is cheap imitations. Parents, if you're somehow watching this, if one of the I think 20 something subs we have right now is watching, make sure you check the boxes if you're getting your kids Beyblade X because there is Beyblade X and Bay Super X, and those are fake. You want to look for Beyblade X with the Takaratomi logo on it. There's going to be much more Japanese than English on the box. That's usually a dead giveaway, at least right now for the fake meta. And Cobalt Drake does not come in a normal box, and neither does Gold House Scythe. But honestly, I don't know why any parent would want to get Gold House Scythe for a kid. Just seems like a waste.
Well, if it's $10, $20, they're still gonna buy it because they don't know,
Yep.
and that's how the whole market just keeps going around. So,
You got to look for those
oh well,
prices. Look on trusted
yeah,
sites. Mall of Bays, Mall
yeah.
of Toys, Bays and Bricks, Bai, Surugaya. What else? Everwish, Bay Premier. I think Bay Supply may or may not have them.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure about Bay
don't know
Supply.
all of them.
I get some of my Metal Fight stuff from them. But anyways, look
Hmm.
out for the fakes, parents. Know what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
Malti's gonna start an underground Bay company and start selling all the copies to supply the Taisho with sushi.
Oh, that'd be so funny. We just see the underground Beyblade conspiracy. Maybe that's like season 5. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then I think our next point is the actual battle. So for this one, we have got 11 whole screenshots because this battle was actually kind of interesting. So right here we can see Drawn Dagger versus Stone Mont Blanc, and it's pretty bussin'. See, they're both like glowing. They're both glowing. We've got the little bracket here that's hanging out from auto subs, and we got Drawn Dagger looking hot. We got Mont Blanc looking pretty good too. No Beyblade X symbol though. They can't do that in the anime for some reason, which
that's
honestly,
that's like it. I recall Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Everyone wanted. I don't think you've even seen the Yu-Gi-Oh anime much. Um, but the Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the show look so much better because it's a full art with just like the numbers for attack and defense at the bottom instead of the name, the color, or the character, and then descriptions and attacks and everything. I think they said that they had to diversify that so for marketing that they can't do one for one, or no, they can't be subliminal advertising or something like,
oh
because
okay,
you have to acknowledge when you're advertising. So I think if it's a one-to-one product that they'll get in legal trouble, but I don't remember. I know it's something along those lines.
okay. I guess that makes a little bit of sense. Um, if it was like for some like licensing reason, that I would be like, wait a minute, but it's Beyblade X anime. They have the logo everywhere. But if it's the subliminal like advertising thing, that definitely makes a lot of sense with it. But we get some nice screenshots. And then it's interesting, we didn't see Stone Mont Blanc glowing like that, so it's nice to see that Takumi got better and prepared for this battle. And then Common here, after failing, I believe, twice with his Extreme Dash, uh, is just like, okay, bring it on. And then we get to see the avatar of Mont Blanc come out, and it's just a stupid shield, just like
Again.
last time. So I was hoping maybe we would get the big Mount Fuji just go and just like block off the attacks. But no, we can't have any fun here. Sorry about that. Um, Now the drawn dragon obviously appears and still kind of beer belly. Didn't work off the weight from college and all the frat parties, but he's got daggers this time. So last time we saw the giant sword emerge from his belly, which was awkward and interesting. But now this time the daggers kind of materialize, and then they go after the shield. So it's nice to see that they made a big differentiation between sword and dagger, which really good on them.
Mm-hmm.
Then next up, we have got another clash. A lot of energy coming out of this one, which is really cool. And again, we love the way that the battles are animated. They do a lot of effects, and it looks pretty good. At the end of the day, the entertainment is pretty good for the battles. And we get another picture of Mr. Dagger here, who is looking a bit more buff than usual. Still got the beer belly, but looking pretty good. I think
I guess.
all the purple detailing really makes it.
Yeah, I think we'll have to pay attention because I don't think we saw Health Chain's avatar, or Night Lance. No, I guess we did see Night Lance, but
Yeah, we
Night
saw
Lance, we didn't see Night Shield, did we?
I don't believe we saw Shield. We did see Lance against Shark
Because
Edge.
we'll have to see. Because with Dagger, he just got daggers instead of swords. With Hell's Chain, we see a very wimpy Hell Scythe avatar in one battle
Ooh,
that it looked like a scarecrow. Or am I imagining manga or doing something? I don't know.
maybe it's the
I,
manga. I
I don't know.
honestly
I
can't
recall
remember.
seeing Hell Scythe um, sometime, but
Let
we'll have
me
to see if the avatars evolve too or how they portray that.
let me run through our screenshots real quick because it
You
wasn't
can just
last
Google it.
episode. Oh yeah, sure we could. I feel like we would have gotten that screenshot if it had happened. Was it episode 7 maybe? Because we saw the rhino.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I swear we saw it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe I'm confusing it with another anime. I really
Yeah,
do not know.
I don't think we've seen it yet because we would have seen it in Zuganic. It might have been the manga.
Yeah,
I think it was the manga. Oh, wasn't it against Kadovar maybe?
I think
When
it
we
was. I think we'll see it next episode. Maybe I don't
yeah,
really
or at
know.
least in the manga, I think we saw it in that chapter that we had read. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, our with all that aside, we got another lovely shot of drawn dagger, a nice up close one, looking very tight right there as it hits the X line. Clean, very clean. And we get another one where it's about to have its where Mister Dagger's about to pop out of it.
I like the neon effects.
Yeah, that's always it's nice. I like the light up. I guess you
Mm-hmm.
can kind of do that if you have like a light positioned
Did
under your
did
stadium.
did, yeah? Did you see Zanki's video that he did that?
No, I didn't.
He put a LED under the bit chip and it makes them glow.
Oh, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to. I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, I think he did it like 2 months ago when he was still reviewing Hasbro, I think. But yeah,
Hmm,
I saw that video. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
interesting. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Um, for our for our next slide before my brain melts, we've got this right here was right after Takumi um, withstood the double X dash, which of course before was the big special move from Common X with a drawn sword, where he would hit the X dash, but then he would go around for a second one, which was pretty impressive. And then we can see here another big clash, a lot of lights. I believe this is when Mont Blanc was defeated. So Common bodied the entire team, like the Chad he is, which is pretty on par, I suppose. But
Oh, I
I
think
was
the wife.
hoping that we
Oh,
would get to see Bird fight Takumi and get his revenge, but I guess not. Oh, good lord! I guess not in this. I don't know. I guess I took my Nyquil too early or something.
yeah, no,
But
no, we're both tired today. It's been a long week of shenanigans.
it has been our weekends were pretty busy. A lot of
Yeah,
stuff. But anyway,
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
nice here after Common bodies the whole team. He goes up to Takumi and is like, "Hey, you did better than last time," and encourages him and is like, "Let's battle again." But Takumi doesn't return the sentiment like King did and Team Zuganic. They were good sports. Takumi wasn't really, and that is mainly because Takumi's sponsor, like we mentioned before, walked out. Was selling the brand, at least from what we understand, was selling off the brand, so they were cutting the sponsorship, whether they won or lost, and they lost the sponsorship regardless. So definitely a little. I feel a little bad for them, but at the same time, they did go around crushing Beyblade, so I guess they got what they
They weren't
deserved.
the nicest guys.
Yeah, they weren't the best people ever, but I guess it hits a little harder when Common is nice to them afterwards. So I think
Oh
that's
wait, we're looking at his holster, and it seems to not have our Lord and Savior in it.
no, I think it does. It's just closed.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
That
Plus,
that's really funny that he's got a whole belt for it.
yeah, I got to do that. I got to get one of those nutcrackers, put some eyes on it. Our Lord and Savior Chompy. We'll have to talk with Mim and Jake about holding a sermon sometime for that. Jake and I will we'll give the sermon.
I'll bring the communion.
Yes, Elliot is he's our altar boy. He's
Oh.
got to bring the wine and bay bread.
The bay bread, yes.
The body of Bay.
Oh,
If
that's
you guys want to
hilarious.
get in on the Chompy religion, go visit the subreddit. We'll leave a link for that in the description. It's just goofy
Mhm.
fun. So shout out Mim Sky for creating that. But yeah, so our Lord and Savior was not brought out today, sadly, and he may not
Because he
appear
lost.
again. I hope he does appear again, because I would hate to not see him. But that is pretty much the battle, and that wraps everything up. And now we get to our last stretch of points, which these are probably the most interesting ones that we have to talk about. We kind of summed up the battle and how everything went. Overall, it was pretty good, but it's the points that we're about to mention now that really make this episode pretty good. It ended on a good note.
And
First
the
and
funny part is
foremost,
it's not really about this episode.
yeah, pretty much. I think we're more excited about next episode than this one, but this one was not
Well,
bad.
that's good that we had a really good pacing for when Hell's Night was created, and we were really worried about them carrying the pace into the next episode. And I don't think we've been this excited since from the first to the second episode. So
Yeah.
we're building up, and it's doing pretty good. We'll have to see the manga adaptation or the anime adaptation from the manga next episode, which finally will pay off.
Yeah, we'll get to see how that works. And it looks like it might be different, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Now, one thing that I am so happy about, I made a whole deal about this while we were watching the episode, and it is the fact that if you guys have been following along, for those of you who've seen some of our older episodes, when Beyblades get thrown out of the stadium, you'll know that I absolutely loathe the fact that Beyblade X hasn't really been doing what every other gen has when a Beyblade gets a stadium out or a ring out or a knockout, where normally the Beyblade will get hit, it'll fly out of the stadium, and then it'll land on the ground, tank around for a bit, and then come to a complete stop. And really kind of emphasize the loss. They have decided, for whatever reason, not to do that in Beyblade X. Usually, the Beyblade will fly out, hit the ground in slow motion, and then tank off screen, and then we don't see anything else. And that honestly kind of pisses me off a little bit. It's super nitpicky, but I think it affects the tone of a loss and of a stadium out. And it just kind of leaves me feeling unsatisfied in a sense. However, it took us 10 episodes, but we actually got it. When I think this is Genry. I could be wrong. Whichever character this is, when they lost to Kamen and Drawn Dagger, their Shark Edge tinked out of the stadium, but then, bounced across the floor and came to a complete stop before we moved on to the next frame. Which, oh my goodness, they listened. Well, I guess this anime has been in the works for a while, but
Like a year now, apparently.
something like that. Yeah, it takes like a few months to get an episode done, which is just crazy. And they have 51, so then how? What?
Yep, I don't know. Apparently, they're magicians over there. That I guess the concept of Beyblade X was thought halfway through Burst.
I guess so. Maybe around the time Slingshot happened, because I think that was like midway through. And we've mentioned before that Slingshot, is very similar to X's concept of going around on a rail and getting shot out into the middle. And I mean, if you look at some of the Slingshot stadiums, and they've got like those little pathways that loop around, it's very reminiscent of Beyblade X, except Beyblade X is just able to execute it so much better, which is obviously very phenomenal. So, but
Yeah.
it's I kind of forgot what the point was.
Yeah,
Dang it.
no, it's fun. It's funny to think of how much longer this could have been, and most likely was in production before any of us even knew that burst was coming to an end, which is obviously like one of the only ways to run a franchise, that you need to be 10 steps ahead, years ahead. So it's just funny, but yeah, the anime is coming along a lot better than the first half a dozen episodes.
Yeah, we're doing better. It is getting better. We had our title be Beyblade X is getting good, and then immediately we hit like a rut with I think a couple episodes. But it's getting good again. We promise,
Yeah.
and plus we promise to be more positive going forward. So that also helps. But I was happy. Now they didn't do it with Stone Mont Blanc. It was only with the Shark Edge, but we did get to see it actually hit the ground and stop moving entirely. So I am happy that we at least got it once now. Um, oops, kind of mislabeled some of the screenshots. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, we'll just fling through them at the end or whenever.
Yeah. All right. So I think, yeah. Oh, we already mentioned that point, so that's fine. Okay. So next up, we have got the way that Drawn Dagger was explained. Now, I think obviously the gimmick behind Drawn Dagger, of course, has always been that it's got the rush bit. It's meant to do barrage attacks, but it's barrage attacks in the sense that it's multiple extreme dashes. So the rush bit was created. Now I bet a lot of people already knew that the rush bit was meant to be multiple X dashes in quick succession. However, what I didn't really get about it, and what they explained here very well, even through auto subs, was that the slower X dash reduces the amount of power used on the extreme line, and that allows Drawn Dagger to use a lot of extreme dashes in quick succession, and it's definitely noticeable in real life with the product, but they really explain it and show it here in the anime, which again, I gotta praise them for really emphasizing the intended um, like the intention or the intended function of the Beyblade part and the Beyblade in the anime, and it tracking with real life as well. I praise it immensely for that, and it was really cool to see that. They also did a great job with the rush bit. We can see here very clearly it's got very different teeth and gears compared to every other bit, which is consistent with real life as well, and it's refreshing. It's really nice to see them pay attention to that detail. And even if, some of the story beats, we're not too happy with, at least they've been doing the products a lot of justice thus far.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess we probably don't realize how difficult it is to make anime in like 4K. That we think it's drawings, but I'm sure 90% of what they do is rendering and some CGI and some really technical stuff that we probably don't even think about when we hear the word anime, because it's weird. A lot of animes have like hybrid designs that, unless they're doing like a big action scene, that's when the CGI and the renders come out. But other than that, it's just kind of actual drawings. But with the Beyblade X anime, there's just been a lot of high quality um, pictures and battles. So I see where they probably spend majority of their time.
hmm And I imagine there was maybe some use of AI, just based on the earlier stadium design that we were criticizing. But you know what? It's a new technology, and it's a smart way to be efficient with time. So you got to give them
Mm-hmm.
props for innovating on in that perspective. So as much as we like to crap on the some of the funny anime uh, design choices, we still appreciate a lot of the ingenuity and engineering that goes into everything. So we're just about done with the anime. We do have product talk today because we got some big new stuff over, I think, like early weekend, and I talked about it a bit, but I have not talked to Elliot about it,
Mm-hmm.
so we've definitely got some conversing. But anyways, we're gonna talk about the next episode because it's gonna be a big one, and we're definitely pretty excited. The way they showed it off, it looks like it's gonna be a nice mix of based on the anime, but also taking some of its own direction. So first up, We got a really cool shot of Hell's Chain, as per usual. So we are going to see Hell's Chain next episode, which is nice. We cannot wait for that. This man is coming back. It is our boy. It's Man, also known as Kadovar, which I don't know if we mentioned that in the
Mm-mm.
previous episodes when we learned that, but this guy that we were making Batman Arkham subreddit jokes about, his name is Kadovar, and he's probably, I think, in his next episode is going to be a contender for one of at least one of my favorite characters, because this dude, he kind of looks like a Common X energy if he grew up. If like Common was like 13 years older than he is, this would be him. He'd be like 26 and he'd look like this. And he'd have that fun energy. But Kadovar looks pretty cool. I like the glasses; those are kind of dope. I kind of want to get some of those in real life. That'd be sick.
Yeah, the character design's pretty neat for him. So definitely doing some creative work on the character design. So we'll have to definitely keep an eye out. Hopefully, Chrome Ryugu gets like a nice cloak or something instead of his button-up shirt or whatever the heck he was wearing in the first episode.
Yeah, definitely. I cannot wait to see what they do with some of the character designs, and Burn especially. I can't wait to see what his hair looks like, because he's got the feather hair, but that's going to be cool. So now, of course, if you've read the manga, you'll know that Bird suffers a loss to Kadovar, and we get to see Wyverndale in the anime for the first time, which is really interesting. And if you're noticing down here at the gear bit, the gears are going quite far down. So we'll get to that in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool design.
We did get real pictures of the bits in real life, at least for Phoenix Feather.
Yeah.
So that we'll definitely take a look at that.
Yeah. So definitely a lot for the products. We get a nice funny screenshot here of Kadovar coming up to Bird, and he's just kind of like, the face Kadovar is making there with his eyebrows raised like that. He's like, man, you got this new Beyblade, but it sucks because I just beat it, man. Gotta get better, buddy. It's like he's being
only
kind
10
of.
seconds.
He's like, come on, man, you can do better than that. I know you can do better than that.
I know I'm the man, but now you're the man.
You gotta be the man too. Oh, I can't wait for next episode. It's gonna be great. And then we get a shot of Wyverndale here, who is gonna be on 580. So once again, no new ratchets, but what are you gonna do about it? At least we're getting a new bit and we're getting a new blade, so definitely excited for that. Now, we're actually getting some outdoor stuff. It's going to be like Beyblade. We have been indoors way too long. We are finally getting outside. And it looks like there may be some camping. If I move my cam here, you can see there's like a blanket here. Maybe that's like a tent being set up, I guess, by Multi or maybe Maiden. I'm not sure who all is going to be here. It could just be Bird and Common, because we didn't see anyone else with them. So I'm definitely curious to see what this is going to be. So excited to see a mix of stuff that we've seen in the manga and stuff we haven't seen. And we can see Bird training here, and Common is holding something. Looks like a plate, maybe.
But it's cool. It's cool that we're getting actual training, not in a weight room or doing a ripcord pull. It's like, oh, this is a homemade gym that is going to actually strengthen. I think they're lighting a fire. That is how you light a fire. I think they're actually just starting a fire at that campsite, now that I think about it. But still, it's a good workout.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely helps with that ripping kind of on both arms, get bigger muscles stabilized. And actually, that ties into, I think, our next one, yes, because look at Bird. What? He is swole to the max right now. This dude is built. Look at those arms, man. Now, we're saying that as bodybuilders. Neither of us bodybuild, but we are, if we were, we're of course complimenting Bird on his muscles and for being toned and for working out and putting the effort in, and nothing else strictly. So Bird is, he's looking pretty buff there, looking like he could lift a cow maybe. So that
looks like he could pull off an extreme dash or two.
Yeah, he's starting to look a little bit less maidenless.
Maidenless.
Definitely not trying to do a pun there, but anyway, so probably the part that we were very excited about. We did read the manga chapter with Kadovar, and now that we're going to see it in the anime, this was not in the manga. You can see all of these chains here, and basically Hell's Chain goes back and forth and kind of lines these chains up. So it looks like this will be some kind of special move, maybe that Bird commits. Maybe Bird will actually get a win against Godova, or at least make a very good attempt and have his own move and develop further as a blader. So, again, this is just a sneak peek. We're not sure what's going to happen, even based on the manga. But I'm pretty hopeful that it'll be like a special move.
No, it looks really cool that obviously this can't be done from just going around the extreme line. So it looks like they're actually going to do more than just. Hopefully they do more with Common X. Or I don't know, they could either leave the extreme line for Common X to do variations with, or make another special move for him, which I'd assume they would do. But we are getting a new stadium, so maybe we see a Battle Royale coming up once you reach floor 50, that we'll get in a product talk about that. But it's looking good. We're very excited for the progress and the developments they're making already.
The anime, it's getting good now. It's getting good. Now, before we finish and we start talking about the products, first thing we got to do is talk about our funny images. So first up, we've got Bird here. Now they're introducing Team Persona. We can see that Bird is once again not prepared at all. He's just kind of hanging out here, and he's like, oh my goodness, this man is never ready for anything. We also get this really funny image of DJ AI. Kind of looks like he's sneaking around, but he's dummy thick. The clap of them cheeks are alerting the guards. But anyways,
oh gosh,
I'll have to show you that. Do you know what that's from?
No, but we can do that later.
Yeah, I'll show you that. I'll show you that later. We get Mr. Mim in here. But yeah, so that's funny. Maybe thumbnail, maybe we'll see. And then we've got this right here is a really interesting shot. I like how menacing Common looks. He's got Takumi in his sights, and it is going down.
Takumi looks scared.
Yeah, Takumi is like, his pants are getting full.
Yeah. But at least Takumi's using his battle pass.
Yep, that's true. He's got it on. And then this was from the beginning of the episode, and we can see here, this was after Team Phalanx won another battle, and no one cares. This dude is yawning right here. He is just like, whatever.
The guy in the back's asleep.
Yeah, this dude is... hold on, let me build this cam. Yeah, you can see this dude up in the top here. He is just out. He's taking a nap. This dude over here is just bored out of his mind. And then we've got Mr. Yawn. He's about to fall asleep. I don't blame him. Next up, we got Takumi here, who is looking a little bit phased that the next team he's fighting is Persona. He's just like, oh, not these guys again. And then we get this interesting shot here of this dude, and he's kind of looking a little cross-eyed, a little bit unsane. And then he's got Wizard Melon in his hand, which, please Takara, give us Wizard Melon. I need my Wizard grocery shopping list. We've got Cheeto, we've got Orange Crush, we've got Lemonade.
Grape soda, or no, we don't have grape soda.
Grape soda's coming in the RB2. And then we also got the
Coke,
green
root
one.
Beer.
And then we got the what is it? What color was it? The red one from the booster. And then so hopefully let's get the melon one. We'll have the Wizard Arrow shopping list complete soon. And that is pretty much it for the anime. So final thoughts for it. Decent episode. Not as good as 9 or 1, but not bad at all. Not bad by any means.
The build-up is paying off, hopefully. Seems like the intro was very lackluster, but it seems like they're getting there, and it should just start building, especially episode 10. We got some room to grow in this season.
Yep, we definitely do. Bam! So first up, we've got the 3-player stadium, which is so hype. This looks just wild.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wish like it's not necessary, but I hope they sell some of these containers to hold the stadiums in that are like fit perfect. That would
Yeah,
be
right?
really sick. I would pay 20 bucks for a piece of cardboard to set my stadium in.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I'm using one now, but when this thing hits and I get this in, I don't think my little box is going to hold it anymore, sadly.
Now we got to get creative.
Yep, for sure. We'll have to do that. Now, I think what's very interesting about this stadium is where the X pockets are, because if we look at it, the the X pockets are here. This is one. You can tell by the ridge, and then up here. So there are two corner X pockets, and then the over pocket is here. This big one over where the top of the X line is, and that is very interesting. First, we're seeing the first time that the extreme pockets are on the side. They're smaller. There's two of them, and then the over pocket is on the opposite side of the extreme line. So this is definitely going to make play very interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Well, we get almost double the distance it looks like to travel for an extreme finish. So there is going to be some. I like that they're already making a bigger stadium, and we're going to be able to take advantage of the momentum and watch them actually go flying.
Oh man, it is going to be insane, and it makes sense too. It's like if you're sitting here and you get an X dash from here, you're going to be launched like you have to be launched way farther over here, or you have to be
Hmm.
like hit at an angle. It's like if a Beyblade was here and it comes off here and it like hits it into this way, like there's going to be a lot of power. I just can't wait to see like drawn sword like spinning around and then it comes off of it. And there's this too. This has a gear on it now.
It's all it. Oh,
Yeah, there's a gear
so
line around the
there's going to be
entire
a
stadium.
lot of interesting movements because this isn't a circle, so there's going to be some oval patterns that they're going around, and it's going to be very cool to see these refresh battles.
Yeah,
And we get a new extreme line connector. If you see up top there, there's like
right
a
here.
handle to pick out the extreme line. So
Yeah, that's
there
gonna
are.
be
It looks like they're
interesting.
making it more versatile to maybe replace or expand.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely take it out. I think that's gonna be a thing
Hmm.
with all of the stadiums. You can take the extreme line out, which kind of
Yeah.
kills the purpose. I've tried to battle without the extreme line; it doesn't work.
No.
And actually, I don't know if it's one of my videos that I uploaded recently. I showed what happens when you battle without it, and it's kind of lame. But anyways, yeah, it's gonna. I'm so psyched for this. Now, I think Newsel, we talked about it last week with him, was gonna do
Yeah.
different colors for the X line. So he's gonna have multiple different types of X lines to worry about now, which is pretty cool. And honestly, I'm just glad to see a bigger stadium because it's not that the normal stadium is too small, but it's too small. It's like it's big enough to, be like it's fun, but it's not big enough to really satiate my desires for madness.
There's a lot of faster battles like this one. If they travel from one side, like not even using the extreme line, just straight down that picture, there's so much more momentum to hit and get a burst or something just from the run up that they're able to get now.
Hmm. Yeah, it is going to be absolutely insane. Um, and I'm so excited for it. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, they've got the teeth over here too, which is just so sick. So it's like a Beyblade might, be spinning around here, and then it comes off here and it hits these teeth, and then gets like flung onto this side and then around the loop and all that.
Crazy.
I cannot wait for a new stadium. I think this is what we've really been needing from Takara to really spice up the battling because it's like you can only battle so much in one stadium before you kind of get boring or before you kind of get a little bit like
Hmm.
okay, I want some variation. And I think that's the beautiful thing about Beyblade. It's like spinning tops is a simple concept, but when you come up with these crazy stadium designs and you innovate with that, you can really mix it up and make it more interesting. And allowing for 3 players. Frankly, I didn't think that they were going to do that, but they are, and I'm loving it. So I don't know when this is coming out. It's probably January or February, if I had to imagine. Uh,
Yeah, a
there
couple months at least,
there is
or
a
a month or two
list.
at least.
There is a list of like all the BX number orders, and this is on here.
Does the paper up there say what BX number it is? Because I don't
Oh,
recall seeing what BX number this was.
oh, I
I don't think so, sadly.
yeah, I can't tell. There was another picture that showed this more in depth, but I don't think I got the screen. Oh, someone's got their foot in this. I move Elliot's
Cleek.
cam there, wearing jeans too. Interesting. Got our
Got the
daily dose
leather
of feet
toe
pics.
steppers.
So yeah, I guess I don't. Yeah, I forgot which number it is. I need to find that image that has the list of all of the products for early
Mm-hmm.
24. It goes through like March or April. So this is going to be Q1 for sure in 2024. So definitely excited for that. I might skip on Beyblades to buy this if I have to, because
For
oh
sure.
man, it is going to be so
Seems like
sick.
January might be a light month. Maybe they'll do the cool releases for December, a new stadium, and maybe another bay, and then tone it back up going into spring.
Basically, what we've got coming, what we're going to talk about next, is the newest updates on the Xover project. We have got images of Tripio and Drigger S. They were recently displayed at an event. Drigger is done pretty much. Drigger S is, we're probably seeing that next month maybe. Again, Q1. Not sure exactly when. There is an image of like all of the release stuff, so it's coming out pretty soon. I would hope. We're also
Yeah,
gonna
it does.
see. Oh,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Nope.
and then we're gonna see with Tripio. Tripio may be pushed back a bit. It is in development hell because of how wide it is and how big it is. I don't think Takara was prepared for everyone to pile on the Tripio train, but they got to work with it now. And from the prototype that we saw, it's looking good. It's looking like it'll be pretty satisfying.
Mm-hmm. And in one of the pictures that I'm uploading right now, there is a shot of different Xover products that they're looking to do, and there's Lightning Eldrago and Zyphord Excalibur alongside of Tripio. So I'm guessing those are going to be the 3 generations they're going to hit, and I don't know if they leaked it or what, but those are going to be very cool.
Yeah, those were the top picks for the gens. So Tripio was number one for plastic, and then Eldrago was number one for Metal Fight, and then Excalibur was number one for Burst. So I think we're definitely getting those, and then we're getting some other ones. Zenki also did a video, I think today, talking about the Xover project. So once you're
Mm-hmm.
all wrapped up with the podcast here, you can check out his video. He goes a little bit more into it. We have got an image here. We have got the Tripio prototype. Now, as we can see, it looks very good. It looks very similar to the original. Maybe a bit bulkier, but that could just be the fact that it doesn't have stickers on it yet.
Yeah, we mentioned the fact that it looks like it's plastic, but at the same time, we're really gonna have to see how they do this because we're like, bro, someone's gonna get someone's gonna get their finger chopped off with those blades in there if they do this inaccurately or something. So I don't know. That might be a safety concern they were thinking about instead of it exploding.
Yeah, it's going to be curious. I don't think it'll be able to fly like it used to, but
Not with all that metal.
maybe they made it maybe they put it in where you can like take it apart and like zip it off, which it would be cool. I feel like they could do that, but at the same time, it's probably a long shot for something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, durability and whatever. I don't know. You
Safety,
see
yeah.
there's some outlines there that I don't know if they break off or they detach, like on each wing there.
Yeah, and I don't think you can really see those. I mean, they're kind of covered up by the sticker where that area is, but I think it's like multi-part. So maybe the center is like all metal, and then the outside is
Mm-hmm.
like plastic, or vice versa, or something like that. I guess we'll have
Yeah.
to see. But I mean, if they were gonna do like a tough, hard, like flexible plastic on the outside, they would have to make the inside all metal to have the weight be there, because they can't have the Beyblade being super light. Um, especially if Dronzer is extremely lightweight. If they make Tripio super lightweight, it's not going to work. But it's
Yeah.
interesting that they are still opting that the prototype now that we're seeing here. Remember, this is still the prototype, viewers, but it's interesting that it's still very wide and pretty much identical to the OG Tripio. And I think this larger stadium might have been in response to having to do Tripio at all for crossover. So we've got a much bigger stadium. Now, one thing to note about Tripio, I think, yeah, we get another image here. If we take a look at it, it is on the needle bit, which means that it is not going to be super mobile, and therefore it's not really going to utilize the X line all that much. Now, of course, you can customize your Beyblades. You can swap in like a low flat or a flat bit or rush and try and get it to work. On the stadiums that we have now, I don't think that any Tripio X dashing is going to be super possible, but we can see here that we've got a lot of space here for Tripio to potentially hit it. So, I gotta wonder if this stadium, if some of the design choices were made to cater to Tripio and just how wide it is.
A lot of things that go into production that you have to think of, especially make it generational proof. That if these are going to be used in 4 years for the later seasons, we'll definitely have to keep up with that. Because every other generation, the standard stadium has been the fan favorite that lasted 5 years. So we'll definitely have to see.
Mm-hmm. And it's, yeah, I mean, again, with with our stadium talk, because we love talking about the stadiums, arguably probably the most important part of Beyblade X. All of the ideas that they can do that we've mentioned, time before, double decker, rotating center, maybe a rotating ring on the outside. If they did like a double spin ring, that would be like insanely interesting. And just, coming up with all kinds of different ideas for the X line and how they can do that. Like, there has never been this much innovation that they can do with the stadium. And it's nice to see that they are already taking full advantage of that with a different shaped X line, a much wider X line. Bigger stadium means more time on that. And they've also added gears to all of it. There is a small section of the current stadium that does not have teeth on it. This has teeth all the way around, which is super nice to see. And I mean, of course, the X line or the extreme pockets have been split and put to the corners, and there's a big over pocket down the center here. So already we're seeing stadium innovations, and I like it a lot, and I think everyone can agree with me, and with our opinion on this, and just they're doing a good job with that. Now we also get Drigger pictures, which Drigger looks fantastic. There was no
Mm-hmm.
doubt after how Dronzer came out that Drigger was going to be a slammer as well. And it looks like we've got more stickers to put on it. We're going to have the eyes, and then the like wing sort of thing here, and then
Mm-hmm.
the bit chip, and then we got like the tiger stickers on the side here that we're going to put on. So more stickers.
Yeah, the attack ring right there, or I guess it's called the blade because we're actually talking about the X-Bay. It has some nice detail in the metal contact right there compared to
Mhm.
what Dronzer had. That we'll have to see how they do this. I would assume I'd assume they still painted it, but in theory they probably didn't have to paint the outsides, but we'll have to see the durability aspect with some of these crossover bays as well. It looks
Yeah,
like it might be bare, but I don't know.
I think it is painted. Like,
Yeah.
just if we take a like just kind of looking at, there's like more of a shine on the part where the weight disc is molded in, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
not so shiny. It's more like that uh, more
Gray.
gray tone, yeah, on this. So I think Trigger might be another painted one, which It's a bit sad, but it kind of makes
It's
sense.
only gray this time, which at least it's not like a red or a pink
Yeah,
yet.
it's not going to be like super duper noticeable like Dronzer and Cobalt and Phoenix Wing will be. Now, one thing that's also interesting, I guess, is that Tripio is not going to have the paint problem probably. If the entire outer ring is plastic, no paint.
Yeah, that's very true. That should be durable if done properly. So we'll have to see.
I mean, I'm liking TPU because all of
Yeah.
Noozle stuff is made of TPU, and that stuff holds really well, very flexible. So I think it could definitely
hmm
handle the stress of an X dash.
I really love the design of that Drigger. It looks. I'm so excited to get a Dragoon and other ones that they're doing so good on these remakes. I love it.
It looks so good. Unfortunately for me, I don't think I'll really get into Plastic Gen, the original products, but I'm so glad that they're doing a great job with the X overs because Dronzer S is still my favorite blade. And I think right now, everything that we have seen, whether it's prototype or complete, my top three favorite blades right now from what we've got, Dronzer, Drigger, Tripio. Just I love
Yep, sounds
I
about
like the
right.
classic look. Now don't get me wrong, I do really love Beyblade X. I like the designs. I think they're great. But there's just something about the plastic gen ones. I find them to be a little bit more fun. I think it's the
For
colors
sure.
and the stickers. There's more life on it than with the other ones, which
hmm
so we're definitely psyched for those to come out. And then we also have Phoenix Wing, which we have not seen pictures of the. We didn't see pictures at this angle of the bottom. Now, gear flat, the gears go all the way down. Same with gear ball, and it's pretty crazy. So it looks like it's just going to be flat. It's got like that little hole in it, except the gears go all the way down. Now, what's interesting, and I said this before, is that when you rip it like sort of sideways, those gear teeth are going to get they're going to get beat up on the bottom real quick. When it leans over,
hmm
because Beyblade X leans over a lot, it's very top heavy. When that happens, those there's going to be bouncing. There's going to be some noises. So I'm definitely curious to battle with Gear Flat and see how that goes out. And then we also have 960, the first new Ratchet since October. So we had to wait like
Since
2 months.
five. Yeah, and it's fun to see what they're doing. I had to double check on this because it looks like the gear bit almost looked like it went in a spiral, but I think it's just the lighting for that thumbnail. I was like, what? But the 960 that we were all anticipating is not as insane as what we thought. It has more pronunciated contact points like a 360, but it just has a few extras in between. So it's not. It looks a lot cleaner and, in theory, more aerodynamic with less abrupt contact points. But we'll definitely have to see, because as of now, the way they did 560 didn't work too well. So will more contact points work better, or with all of those contact points will start becoming more of a circle and being more smooth?
Guess we'll have to see when it comes out. But all I can say is that rip everyone's stadium if they choose to battle. Rip my stadium. It's going to get red. It's going to start looking like the American flag, which I can't be super mad at. But
We got Drigger, Dronzer, and Phoenix, all American colors, pretty much.
and for those who have Cobalt as well, they're going to get a lot of blue paint. Oh
hmm
man, it's definitely going to be interesting. But honestly, it looks really good, and I don't think I'll get two, but I will
It's really
take.
funny. Yeah, it's
I'm
really funny how many people have already bought two of them because they're like, I'm using one and I can't use another one, or
Mhm.
vice versa.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I've got a PO. Well, actually, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. We're gonna cut that part out. Yeah, if people really want me to preserve one, they got to put it in. I'm not gonna buy two. I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah, maybe
But
when Target sells it for $10.
yeah, maybe I'll get a Hasbro one, or maybe I'll get like two of them or whatever. We'll see.
hmm
And
But the
then we.
Phoenix Avatar looks really good on that, by the way. We didn't mention that.
Oh yeah, yeah, it definitely does. I love that spread wing. Kind of reminds me of
hmm
like a more detailed fire blaze. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. It covers a lot of the Beyblade X on there too. Can't
Yeah,
really see
they're
this
getting
one.
good with their design. They're not being contained by certain molds
It's not
or
being.
barriers on there. So
Yeah, they're not keeping it inside the little PNG of the Beyblade X thing. It's really nice. Well, then they kind of got the arrows on the other side going over it.
hmm
It's dynamic. And then we did talk about the bottoms. So Needle, obviously, it was. I don't think it was any question that Needle was going to be on Tripio. And then I think, yep, here we go. So Drigger's bottom is probably the point, the probably the thing with the most contention. It's got point in the prototype. Now, I don't know if Zanky has confirmed it's going to be released with point or if that's just a placeholder for the prototype. I said that Metal Rush when I did a video talking about the prototype reveals. I said that Metal Rush would be really good for Dronzer, but I guess maybe we're just gonna have to live with point. Now, I guess point would really make it more of a balance type within X's limitations, but it's just a shame that we're not going to see the metal on it.
yeah, I don't know. That's definitely something that we've mentioned, but to do metal with plastic on the bit, I don't really know how they would do that yet. Unless it's like a metal core, because there is magnets or a thing of metal in each bit to give it a little weight.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see how they really want to anticipate that, because I know back in, well, no, I guess they're kind of use the same plastic still in the stadiums, so it's not really more of a durability issue, but maybe they're still experimenting or waiting to see how it reacts with the extreme line, if the metal on those bits will actually damage the extreme line more when it goes over it or goes crazy.
Yeah, that's true. One idea I did have is that they could just they could just raise the they could have just raised the part of flat. So you know how flat's got that hole in the middle? They
hmm
just recede that plastic like a little bit higher up, and then they have a little metal bit within that that sticks out, kind of like it would look exactly like this, and then the gears would be like up here. So
Yeah.
like this part here replaces the point part, and it would be more like that. I I, I could see that happening,
Yeah,
and then they could also
there definitely are ways to do it.
yeah. So it's possible to keep the plastic gear and then have like a metal point or a little metal tip at the bottom here. They could do it. They just didn't hire us to design their products, unfortunately. So we'll have to see what
Good thing they
happens.
didn't.
I think I'm pretty sure Zanky said Drigger was done, or somebody said it was done. So it's probably going to be on point. Which hey, that's another point bit. There's only one on Lane Claw right now, so I guess I can't
But
be
we
mad
are
at getting another point.
Yeah, we are getting a recolor red lane claw also in this random booster too,
Yeah, I think it was red. It was either red or no, I think it was Blue Knight Lance, or no, it was Blue Viper Tail. I think
and red
and Red
lane
Lane
claw. Oh,
Claw.
but they're random boosters, so I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know which one comes with point or if any of them do.
I can look it up. Beyblade, Oops X, not Beyblade C, Beyblade X, random booster, volume 2.
Beyblade Y next season.
We're not. Oh my god, wow. I kind of forgot that they're giving us really lame stuff.
Oh,
So,
no points.
yeah, we have the prize. No orb
Wait, what's
either.
GB? Oh, GB's
Gear
a
Ball.
Gale Bitball. Yeah.
So we got Wyvern Gale, prize. Obviously, everyone's going to go for that. I'm getting a full set. Probably maybe in January I'll order it. I'll get a full set. I might end up getting behind a bit on Beyblade X, to be honest. I'm waiting for the pre-order prices to drop. That's the biggest problem. It's like if you don't pre-order consistently, you're gonna fall behind when we hit a month where it's at the end, and then we're gonna get stuff at the beginning of next month. Oh, great. Guess I gotta grind. But anyways, we get Gear Ball on 3 of the bays, which I'm pretty. We got that for low flat in the original, and then we also get the Wyvern Gale Blade twice. We get a yellow version as well, just like Random Booster Volume 1. So nice to see the consistency. Nightlands is getting another recolor, which is nice. And then Viper Tail and Langclar getting Landclaw's getting its first, Viper Tail's getting its third. Honestly, Rhino Horn would have been nicer to see, but alas. And then we're getting Wizard Arrow again, which some people are mad at. I love it because Wizard's just funny. I like how many recolors it has. So it's going to be interesting to we get Grape Wizard. I think what I really hate is that Taper, Flat, and High Needle are featured when we could easily have gotten Point
Or Orb.
maybe Spike. I mean, Spike is kind of new, so I guess that one being out is fine, but why not Ball? Well, I guess we're getting Gear Ball, so that kind of makes sense. But, like, don't do, like, Spike and Point instead of High Needle and Taper. It's like, we already got another High Needle in the Select, and then, yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to see Point again instead of Taper, Flat, because we've seen Taper and Flat a lot. High Needle, I can kind of excuse. Taper and Flat, no excuse. Should have seen something else. We've seen too many of those bits. Point and Orb would have been nice. That would have worked. But I guess with Orb, the issue is we already have a ton of. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's tough. Oh well, we have to live with it.
It is what it is.
Yep, indeed. And then, so I guess, real quick before we finish, we'll touch on the X over here. They showed the winners of the X over project. So Eldrago and Xeno Excalibur are confirmed. They will be coming back. We also got to see what other Metal Fight Beyblades are coming back. Zanky did a video today where he said that it's possible that we're not going to see all 15, which makes sense. We really don't know how many of the they're going to bring back over. So, I mean, honestly, it's entirely possible that the only 3 bays we see, it's unlikely. I don't think they would limit each gen to 3 bays because that's a bit shallow. But, for Burst, we may see it get dialed back to like only dual layers. Metal Fight, probably not going to see 4D. It's just too complicated for early gen. Now, they could be saving it for later Beyblade X, but I don't know if they've thought that far ahead about the system at this point in time. Maybe they'll re-poll. They'll see if, maybe America will get a poll and we get to vote. So there's a lot of stuff that's still in the air on the X Over project, but at least we know that we've got Dronzer, Tripio, Dragoon S, and Drigger S.
Drasil.
Is Drasil confirmed?
I mean, if they did the other 2 and Dragoon, why wouldn't they do the 4th?
That's true, yeah. So we're probably going to see that. Maybe Strata. It's possible.
I don't think anyone's asking for Strata.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's Daichi after all. I don't think people will be mad if Striker is not on for Metal Fusion because Masamune. But it'll be. I guess we'll have to wait and see. For now, I am ecstatic for Drigger. It looks amazing. I'm excited for the way Tripio is looking. It looks like it's going to be, as the big blade that we've been hoping that we'll get. Maybe shrunk down a little bit, or maybe it's reinforced a little bit extra. But nonetheless, it looks like they're trying to make it, as accurate to the original as possible. And I sincerely appreciate TT for doing that. And then Dragoon S is coming out. We'll also get Eldrago and Excalibur sometime next year. So we're definitely super excited. And with that, that is going to wrap up the 10th episode of the Blade Dragons Beyblade X podcast. We've got another interview coming very soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. And I think that's pretty much it. Elliot, anything else before you close us out?
Nope. I think we're in good shape. It was a fun episode. Got a good anime episode. Some good products. All around fun episode to record, and we're looking forward to next week as always. Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let us know in the comments below. Are you excited for these new products? Are you going to get any of them or the stadium? So guys, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week or for the second upload this week. So stay tuned, guys. Blade Dragons out.